Zach and Lauren slept together. I heard them talking about it at the hospital. No.
I'm sorry.
Wait, is that true?
Sorry.
Next week on EastEnders, Nish shocks the Panesars with news of his terminal illness and another bombshell. Lauren finds support in Peter, while Elaine exposes George and Cindy's kiss. Freddie plays Cupid for Kat and Alfie, and Harvey makes a new friend. Anna is mugged, escalating tensions further. 12 significant EastEnders spoilers for the upcoming week. What's happening in Walford soon? Spoilers for EastEnders ahead. On EastEnders the following week, Nish makes a surprise appearance for the Panesar family, Elaine reveals George and Cindy, and Lauren finds support in Peter. Here is a comprehensive list of the most significant upcoming events. 1. Nish unexpectedly shows up on the doorway bearing news. Suki and Eve are taken aback when Nish tells them that he has received copies of both Suki and his final order divorce documents from the lawyers. Nish is able to trick Avani into letting him inside the house even though the Panesars had changed the locks to prevent him from entering. Suki, Ravi, Eve, and Vinny give Nish a cold shoulder, but when he tells his family he's dying, things turn around. 2. Lauren locates a supporter. Peter tries to encourage Cindy as she says hurtful things to Lauren. Later, Lauren accepts to spend the evening with Peter and tells him how much she values his unwavering support. 3. George becomes overly optimistic. Together with Anna and Gina, Elaine plans a girls' night out and assures them that the Vic will always be their home. George is excited about a possible reunion when Elaine calls and invites him over, but it turns out that she simply needs him to watch the bar while she's away. 4. Freddie engages in Cupid. Freddie persists in trying to arrange a reunion between Kat and Alfie, having prevented her from moving away. He sends Kat a coupon for a couple's spa day, but when she invites Big Mo instead, things don't go as planned. 5. Harvey befriends someone new. Harvey is encouraged to find new friends by Jean, who recognizes that he is lonely. Harvey meets Maya later in the week, and the two click because they both support Tottenham Hotspur. Harvey is happy when Maya arrives at the bar with a vintage football program for him after Martin cancels plans. Harvey brings Maya to Jean, who accepts her introduction with grace but then chooses to leave them to talk to Kat, who is suspicious. Nish maintains that he is telling the truth regarding his health, but the Panesars accuse him of lying. Nish tries to win Priya and Nugget over by reaching out to them, but Ravi steps in each times. 6. Nish trips and falls. He arrives and violently shoves his father, who stumbles and is taken to the hospital when he sees Nish with Nugget. 7. Cindy and George rewind the clock while George struggles to make ends meet at the Vic on his own. Gina and Anna attempt to persuade Elaine to give George another shot at Peggy's. Cindy chooses to go to the pub instead of the club because the girls aren't happy when she gets there. Cindy volunteers to help George, who is having trouble. Soon, the two are back to their previous routine from their time spent working together at George's bar in Marbella, and then Elaine comes back. 8. A vote is cast by the Panesars. Eve's birthday comes and goes, but Nish is the only thing on everyone's mind since Suki wants her family to decide whether or not to accept him back into their life. When Nish approaches to present his case, the Panesars are taken aback by his seeming desperation. Although Ravi refuses to back down from his father, he finds himself unsure about what to do more and more, especially after Nugget and Avani stand up for him. 9. Elaine tells Ian the truth. After a night out, Elaine returns and is shocked to see Cindy with George and behind her bar. Afterwards, she chooses to call Ian over to the Vic and shares the news of George and Cindy's kiss with him. 10. Peter stands up for Lauren. Cindy is not impressed by Lauren's arrival to the Beals, and she irritates Peter by acting unkind and nasty toward her. Peter consequently makes a threat to leave if she is unable to treat his child's mother politely. Later, Lauren expresses gratitude to Peter for supporting her through a trying week. 11. Nish drops yet another explosive in a surprising turn of events. Nish has decided to do something that will shock the Panesar family and has another surprise in store for them. Junior sets up a get-together at Peggy's in an attempt to unite Cindy and the girls, but Anna and Gina find it difficult to forgive their mother for ruining George and Elaine's relationship. She's scared when a thug grabs Anna's backpack while she and Gina wait outside McClunky's. 12. Anna is robbed. An emotional turning moment in Whitney Dean's farewell narrative from EastEnders is aired early on BBC iPlayer. There is a spoiler alert for Wednesday, May 22, 2024. Whitney Dean's significant departure from EastEnders was revealed on Wednesday's episode. Following the discovery at their wedding that Zach Hudson had slept with her closest friend Lauren Branning, Whitney had already decided to end her relationship with him permanently on the BBC One serial opera. In the episode airing on Wednesday, Whitney, who has been suffering for a long time, battled to maintain her composure in the face of Zach's infidelity and the severe criticism she received from her mother Bianca Jackson, who, Whitney didn't know, had concealed Zach's adultery before Whitney discovered it. Bianca persisted in her belief that Whitney didn't need Zach since she already had all the family she needed in her, including baby Dolly and foster daughter Brittany Wainwright, who shared Bianca's steadfastness. Whitney disclosed to her aunt Sonia Fowler, though, that following their pregnancy termination due to Whitney's Edwards syndrome, she had obtained official legal acknowledgement of the existence of her and Zach's first child, Peach. Whitney needed Zach to record the birth of baby Dolly and wanted to share this with him as well. As everything is going on, Zach starts drinking and receives advice from his sister Sharon Watts, Letitia Dean, on how to be a better parent. When Whitney paid her a visit to officially register the birth of Dolly, she insisted that they were no longer together even though she required him to proceed with the legal paperwork. After this was ended, Dolly accepted Zach's offer to stay with her for a little while longer while she rested. When Whitney's friend and former fiancé Callum Highway visited, Bianca gave him a hard time, reminding him of his adultery with her now incarcerated husband Ben Mitchell, which caused him to flee. After that, Whitney and Bianca got into a fight. Whitney retorted that Bianca's ex-boyfriend Tony King had sexually abused her as a child and that Bianca was to blame for allowing it to happen before running away. Bianca had accused Whitney of being a pushover when it came to males. After Whitney took baby Dolly from Zach, the latter made it apparent that he wanted to see and look after their child, which unnerved Whitney. Whitney later expressed her regret to Bianca for her comments, and Bianca reciprocated before Whitney said she would talk to Lauren about the incident. Whitney and Lauren engaged in a heated argument in the Queen Vic, while a furious Bianca looked on. Lauren reiterated her apology and gave an explanation of her mental state during her sleep with Zach. Whitney Cutley declared that Lauren reminded her of her father Max Branning, who had cheated on her and betrayed her despite Whitney's unwavering support and love for her over the years. Whitney remained steadfast in her refusal to forgive Lauren. Lauren blasted Whitney for her apparent hypocrisy, pointing out that she had previously chased men, including Mick Carter, whose wife Linda Carter had pardoned her. Lauren blamed the first breakup in their romance on Whitney's unlawful fostering of Brittany, which she had valued more than her connection with Zach and pushed him away. Whitney was also reminded of this. Furious, Whitney reached to toss a drink at Lauren, who pleaded with her to do so. Whitney then set the drink down, refusing to give in to Lauren's demands. However, Bianca tossed the drink over Lauren as she was leaving, even though Lauren had kept Bianca's prior awareness of her transgression to herself and had kept it a secret from Whitney. Whitney and Dolly had some alone time as she sent Bianca home to visit Brittany outside. But then a kind Callum came up to Whitney, and they discussed the problem over coffee. In a touching moment, Callum told Whitney that, despite everything she had been through, she was the strongest person he had ever met and that she could accomplish anything, including parenting her girls by herself. When Whitney eventually made it back home, she heard Bianca assuring Brittany that they needed to prevent Whitney from forgiving Zach. Whitney interrupted, saying that she wanted their family to move out of Walford and that she wouldn't let Zach off the hook because she was too forgiving to stay with him. The episode finished with Whitney feeling confident that she would be leaving Walford. Whitney is finishing up her exit strategy tomorrow, but how will she say farewell to Albert Square, and is there anything more surprising in store for her? After 16 years in the role, actress Shona McGarty is retiring from Whitney Dean. Please subscribe our channel.